Was it? Welcome to another episode of the Fanzone podcast. Your home for all things Bolton Wanderers, up the Trotters, the Northwest's #1 podcast. Good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Fanzone podcast. Tonight is the Barnsley preview show with Mr. Andy Simcox. Better late than never, Andy.
Oh, wow. Well, that's a great start, that, Colin. Well, you know. Fashionably late, I'd like to think of it, Colin. Fashionably.
Well, that's it,
isn't it? Absolutely. This is episode number 73 of the preview, of course. Good evening to all of you who have joined us in the chat. Hello to everybody listening back on audio as well. Evening to all the channel members, David, Jordan, Liner Vienna, superstars, and everybody else in between. Leslie, good evening to you. Ian, good evening as well. Hope you're all keeping well. Red all over.
Thanks, David.
How much are you paying him?
Thanks, David. Hey, don't forget. Just as I was logging in, I heard you said to Chris, "Oh, he's here now. He's here."
Yeah.
He's here now. Yeah.
You hear what I said before he said that.
For those
And
who
your
are,
echo.
Well,
yeah, not too familiar with how it generally works, we tend to have a little chat just before we go live. Just 5 minutes, something like that. But yeah, Andy rocked up bang on time. But like I said, better late than never. How are we, Andy? Anyway, you well?
I've been a lot worse, Colin. Been a lot worse. Can't think when, but I must have been a lot worse. Yeah, all right. We had a good start to the season. It always cheers us up, doesn't it? You know, if you lose your first couple and it's miserable weather, you get miserable. But, you know, a couple of decent results for us. Well, 3 if you count last night. And nice weather. Bit warm, not good for the blood pressure some of our games these last couple. But, we got there. All right.
We love a good segue, don't we, Chris? I think that segues pretty well, done it, into the season so far. But before we do that, of course, B2B Workwear and Janitorial are our headline sponsor for the preview show this season. Chris, where can the guys and girls learn more about them?
So I got talking to Lee from B2B Workwear before the season started. Brilliant. Just so chuffed to have them come and get involved. So if you don't know anything about Lee and B2B Workwear, Lee used to play for Bolton Wanderers, I'll have you know. Massive Wanderers fans. So they do all this personalised workwear, PPE, formal workwear, all your janitorial and hygiene supplies like chemicals and cleaning stuff. But overall, and above and beyond all that, they're just lovely people. So, yeah, dead chuffed to have them on board. If you're listening or watching, Lee, good evening.
And it's good to have PPE that actually works this time and all, Chris.
Oh, yeah. Hey, let's not go down that rabbit hole there. Blimey.
As we touched upon already, let's delve into the season so far from Barnsley's perspective. We're looking forward to this one. Good to get a little bit of reaction as well to the new mid-rolls for the new season. Andy,
Actually,
what's your thoughts on them?
I'm glad we've got Andy on call, you know. I don't know if it's a bit before your time, but there used to be an advert back in the day about a bottle of pop called Kiora.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that every time I hear it. I don't know if that rings true with you as well. Obviously, other soft drinks are available.
Yeah, it does. Great graphics. Great graphics. It's a nice start to the show. You've zuzzed it up and it looks good.
Oh,
Congratulations to
Thank you very
Perry.
much.
coming from
Who's done it though? Who's done it? Who did it? Can't have been you, Chris, surely to God.
You're having a laugh, aren't you?
Actually, our headline sponsor for the season did that, didn't they, Chris?
Yeah, a bit of a Ben Timberlake and Loving My Socials collab. Yeah. Like you said, we zhuzhed it up a little bit, but thank you for your.
It was good anyway. Good anyway. Well, looks good. Really good. So you want to talk about our season so far?
Yeah, go on then.
Go on.
I mean,
yes, absolutely. Please do. Yeah, deep dive.
Well, in the summer, we were a bit, I suppose, a bit concerned really in the summer because we'd started at the turn of the year. So we something like the 2nd of January, we'd beaten Wrexham at Oatwell, and we were in 5th place and not far off 2nd place and looking good and thinking, but we were a couple of players short. We thought everybody's always a couple of players short, but we were got a couple of injuries and we dropped like a stone. And we finished 12th, and it was a painful second half of the season, with littered with a couple of things really. Some quite a number of individual errors leading to goals, not by one defender but by a lot of defenders. It felt like they were taking it in turns at times. And also, I think we conceded more goals than any other team, or nearly any other team, in the last 15 minutes. So from 75 minutes, if the games had been 75 minutes long, we'd have been in the playoffs. But of course, it's not. So the last 15 minutes plus added time, we're going to put it down to tiredness, lack of concentration, lack of fitness, I think. Lack of fitness. That says me at 71. But a lack of fitness, and it showed. It showed. So this summer, there's been a sea change. Conor Hourihane, our legendary player from 2016 when we went to Wembley twice, he's now our head coach. He was for the last few games of the season last year. And you could see things changing. You could see how he wanted to play changing. We've gone, instead of having a back three and wing backs, we've gone to, he always said he wants to go with wingers and with a back four. So he's gradually changed to that. So that's what we're doing. We've got a back four, 2 in midfield, 3 just a bit further forward, and 1 striker. And it's become much more exciting. When we have possession of the ball now, instead of passing it across the back and then passing it again across the back and then again across the back, and then when we attacked, us starting to wake up a bit because it lulled us, we're now attacking with some purpose. Big changes in the summer. Our chairman, Nirav, had said that we were going to have to cut costs, and that could include shedding players or, moving some players on, but also perhaps selling some big hitters, because we were, as a club, losing money, like most clubs in League One, losing money. So that's what we did. And as we speak, as of earlier today, Kasper Lapata has gone out on loan. He's got another year after this one with us. He's clearly not featuring at all. We've said that he's a 21st player to move on. I think there's about 3 or 4 loan players that obviously went back to their own clubs, but 21 players from last season, or the end of last season, are now no longer with us. You could see that we weren't going to play with wing backs, because last season we got 3 right wing backs. We got Kyron Lofthouse, Corey O'Keefe, and Barry Cotter. They've all gone. All of them. Couple of, 1 on loan, or 2 on loan, and one sold. So they've all gone. So he obviously didn't rate them as fullbacks as opposed to wing backs. So we brought a few players in that's changing things around considerably. So I think you're going to see this Saturday an entirely different bounce of team, or a different style. There's good and there's bad with it. The bad with it is that we're still looking susceptible in the central defence. We improved it by getting back from his loan to Bradford City, Jack Shepherd, left-footed centre back, who's a big, strong lad. I've always liked Jack Shepherd, but being inexperienced, who's been on loan to Bradford City for the whole of last season, had found his feet and one of their better players as they got promotion to this division. And he's come back and he's looking really good, except when he gets sent off in the first match, which, ironically for me, 2 bookable offences, not one of them should have been a booking. But we're all different, we're all different. You can blame referees all you want, and I do, well. I do. Where would we be without rubbish referees? I'd have nothing to say, Chris.
No, it doesn't change. Actually, Andy, we've got quite a mix going on in the chat tonight.
Okay.
You don't have to track some riffraff when you come on.
Oh
well.
Danny talks EFL. Danny, good evening, mate. Thank you for joining us and welcome to the show. Danny says, really looking forward to watching the Super Reds versus Bolton on Saturday. I think, sorry, is that Clearly? Is that right?
It's actually, learn how to spell, Danny. It's Cleary.
Cleary. I thought it was.
No second L in it. It's Cleary.
So
Cleary.
I think Cleary needs to start. He was a real impact maker versus Burton. Not to leave out Kelly the other day. He was class. Great show. Never watched this before, but keep it up. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. What are your thoughts on that, Andy? What Danny's saying there?
Danny's absolutely right. The first couple of league games, we played a midfield with your old mate Luke O'Connell, Adam Phillips, were both playing pretty well, and Vimal Yoganathan, who's a young lad who were out on loan last season. He's come good, and he's he were a decent player. As a tall, rangy lad, good player. He's strengthened up a lot, and he always seems ready to have a fight with somebody. So he's been playing. But Patrick Kelly, who we signed, I think it's on a 3-year contract. He were at Donny last year when they got promotion. He played. He's come on as a substitute. He played last night against Fleetwood Town, and he was first time we've properly seen him. Bar, like I say, a couple of cameo appearances. He was absolutely brilliant last night. That kid can tackle, he can close down, he can go forward with the ball, take it round players and what have you, and drive forward. A really class central midfield player. So you'll need. I'd like to be able to say that he's absolutely rubbish, so you take your eyes off him, but he's a really class player.
What's his name again?
It's Patrick Kelly, number 22.
Whilst Chris types writes that down, Andy, in terms
you can tell it's live, can't you?
I'll be watching for him.
In terms of the defence, I think that's where there's been question marks this season. I think, from what I understand, as a weak point. Is that fair to say? Are you a little bit kind of concerned defensively? Because I know you've got a very strong midfield, haven't you? And I think that's ultimately where the battle will be won and lost, I think, on Saturday. But yeah, tell us a little bit more about your defensive structure.
It is. We started off with, like I say, we're back four, and the two centre halves in the first match were Jack Shepherd, who got sent off, which was a shame, and Mark Roberts, who's 34, but from Barnsley, an ex-Barnsley player that's come back, and a good player. He's got injured, so we've had to play centre halves that are not really been that competent at times, sometimes good at centre half. So a guy that you're particularly fond of, Josh Earl, plays good. I think he's an excellent player. Truthfully, I think he's an excellent player.
Oh yeah,
I think he played really well in the first match at left back, and he can play centre back and look all right. But because of the injury to Robbo, we've been playing him with Miles de Givigny, MDG as we call him, because it's easier to say his name.
Yeah,
easier to Mile. So, and they, in my personal view, and I think of a few others, look a bit suspect together. It's not that neither of them can play, look suspect together. Mile has started this season playing at right back. And played a couple of games at right back. But of course, the sending off, he had to move into central defence. So I think with one being injured and Shepherd, he's still raw, but he's a good centre back. We're looking left-footed. We're looking at a little bit suspect. I think most Barnsley fans would like us to sign another centre back. I can't see it happening now between now and Saturday. So it's going to be interesting to see who play at the back. Last night we played a young lad, Connor Barrett, who's not stunning in the air because he's not as tall as some players, but he's a good player. But he's young. He's young and he's going to make mistakes, but he's a good player, and he's certainly one for the future. So it's going to be very interesting. I noticed that Danny talked about Reyes Cleary. Watch him, number 19. Watch him. If he plays, he's last night with the first game he started. He's come on as a sub. He's a winger. We played him on the left wing last night and played Caelan Vickers on the right. Both of them are exciting young players. So Caelan Vickers on the right-hand side, number 7, and on the left side, 19 is Reyes Cleary. Reyes Cleary was, for most people, man of the match last night. He is fast, he's strong, he's powerful. He's not tall, but he's got a low centre of gravity. He moves the ball quick, and he's like lightning. If I were a fullback, I wouldn't want to play against either of them. Whether they'll both play or not, I don't know, because it depends who else he wants to pick. He might pick, it might be half a game each or something like that, one coming on for the other. But they both played last night, and it was incredibly exciting because they went for it, went for defenders. None of this holding it up and then passing it back and then passing it back. Straight at it. It's didn't always work, but it often worked. And Cleary, easily man at match. I'm going to say he scored a goal. It went to an own goal, but he created our goals. So excellent.
Just on last night, obviously, in terms of personnel, I mean, let's be honest, you obviously conceded 2 goals against a League Two side, albeit a League Two side that started the season pretty well. Yeah. I mean, we ignore him because we conceded 3 goals against an under 21 side. So yeah, anyway, that's probably a conversation for another time.
Don't bring them up. Don't want to talk about.
Oh no, we won't. That's why I thought I'd swiftly move on. In terms of the defence that started last night, can you see many changes ahead of the weekends on that side of things, Andy?
It's hard to say because we at right back we played a new signing that's not long joined us, so he's not, which is Tenney Watson, and he looked really good at fullback. He can play centre back, but he didn't look as strong there. But Watson were really, really good at right back. Oh, Lion, you don't know, Lion. You don't know what you're you know what you know, but let me tell you, you don't know what you're talking about. It's the new Barnsley against the new Bolton.
Yeah, it is.
It is. You need to wake up, lad.
Yes,
Watson, go on.
So I was going to say, it's weird, Andy, what you're saying, because if I didn't know you were a Barnsley fan, you could almost be describing how we're setting up in many respects. Fast wingers, very much on the front foot. Something that we were guilty of under Evert's tenure was being negative and putting your foot on the ball and going backwards, whereas now it's anything but. So it's quite interesting that you talk about that. How's Nat Better getting on?
It's doing all right. It's been left back. He was okay in the first match. The second match, I think he looked a bit, not going to say out of sorts, not quite strong enough. We've got other players that were closing down quickly and getting stuck in. He wasn't quite as powerful, let's put it that way, in the tackle last night. And I know it were against Fleetwood, who made changes. We made changes. I think there were 5 last night that started on that played on Saturday or started on Saturday. So both sides had changes. So last night don't really make much difference, I don't think. But I think he played very, very well last night on the left-hand side with Cleary. They seemed to start to get a good understanding together, either 1-2 in or some lovely through balls by Nathaniel through behind the fullback for Ace to run onto. That would be a delight to watch. And if I would get to my feet if the some of their moves would have got me off my feet, but trouble is by the time I got up on my feet,
Fleetwood had scored.
It would have finished.
Yeah.
Move would have finished because it's not as quick as I was.
Sorry.
I'm still quicker than you, Chris. While I'm talking about it. So, but no, it's looking all right, Nathaniel. So I'm pleased for him. just that bit stronger in the tackle. But yeah, it looks okay. It's quick. It looks okay.
Oh, he's quick.
Whilst we talk about players, personnel, a little bit of formations and understanding of how the game's going to potentially go on Saturday, I think that's probably a perfect opportunity for us to allow Mr. Statman to get his stat on and give us a bit of an understanding of how we can expect to deal with Barnsley on Saturday, or the new Barnsley, as Andy's pointed out.
You improved.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Get Stats On with the Statman. Of course, this preview is sponsored by B2B Workwear. Now, if you're looking for your ideal work clobber, give them a bell, give them a Google. But of course, remember, other search engines are available. Now, you may notice I have a pen in my hand, and this is for good reason, because the tactics board is levelling up. But we'll come on to that in just a minute or two, because we first must talk about Barnsley's stats, and then we'll move to the tactics board, because the tactics board is key in today's preview. Anyway, so I'm sure you'll know Barnsley are quite a good side. They're actually unbeaten this season in all competitions. Only played 3 games, but still. Won on pens against Fleetwood Town. But unbeaten in the league is the main thing. Won both games in the league is an even bigger thing. And they did actually beat Plymouth Argyle on the opening day 3-1 at Plymouth. And of course, you have just played them, so that's quite a good, comparison that you can use to compare the two sides. Probably you know what I mean. I'm a bit rusty, but allow it, yeah. Anyway, Conor Horan has continued as the gaffer after stepping up last season. Still a bit mental that he's a manager in the first place, to be honest. And he does play a 4-2-3-1 system, similar to yourself. But this does change in possession, because they like to have a lot of the ball. They love the football. It changes to a bit of a back three, with the pivot stays the same. Still got a 3, then a 2, and then a 5 front line. Very common in heavy possession sides. But it's actually Nathaniel Ogbeta, your former loanee, that makes this possible, because he bombs on from left back. Properly bombs on. He basically plays as a left winger when they've got the ball, and that is most of their time. Now, the main thing we are going to talk about is the problems that has out of possession, because that leaves a blooming massive gap, does it not? Your left back basically playing left wing. There's a big space, and we are going to have a look at this here, because Kozia Dubbery could be key to exposing this, and your defensive shape will be absolutely crucial. So we're going to move to the tactics board, and it is a different tactics board. We're not sponsored or anything by the tactics board, but I just quite like it. So we're using this from now on. Hopefully it's on your screen, and you may be even still be able to see me if I figured that out. Maybe not. But what we've got here is your team from last game, and I've highlighted 2 of their players. Now we'll come on to that in just a little second. So this is likely going to be the lineup. You're both playing a 4-2-3-1. Now what is going to be crucial is out of possession. If you can get back to this sort of shape here, right? Of course, it was the 4-4-2 block last game. That won you the game, to be completely honest. And it will be the same in this one. Now, you are a bit deep there, but this is just the example. Because, of course, I've just drawn a square on the screen. Hang on, we're getting used to it. Ogbeta is going to be up here. And their back 3 is going to be stretched. Or back 4, that turns into a back 3. And then you've got the number 9 here. He stays rather central. And Phillips, interestingly, likes to pull out to this side over here. And he is a very good player, is Phillips. He scored a goal and got 2 assists for Barnsley this season, and that is pretty impressive, is it not? I've just realised I've not put enough players on the screen. That is quite amusing. So there may have been a bit of a cut there, but we're back. We've got enough players on the screen now, thankfully. But yeah, so this man here, who I forgot to put on, is the left winger that likes to tuck inside. That means Ogbeta can bomb on. And then this leaves you in a bit of a dilemma, because is that now Cogley's man or the right back's man, or is it Kozia Dubbery? And that will be key. I think Kozia Dubbery has got to stay on Ogbeta, to be honest, because he's got the energy to follow him and then bomb on here. The important thing is, when you win the ball back, get it to him as quick as you possibly can, because you can see the space here. And yes, they have got a player in there, but that is a centre-back. And he is never going to be as quick as Kosciuszko, especially when Kosciuszko is running at the goal and that man has to turn around. Okay, remember what I said about turning around. It takes longer. But, of course, how do you actually win the ball back? Because Phillips is going to be dictating play. And when he starts off as the number 10, but he pulls over to this side, and him and Simons are going to have a little battle here. And now, people are going to be able to help him, of course. Maybe Randall and Burstow switch around for this, so Randall can drop back in and help him a bit. But that battle will decide the game, to be completely honest. I can't tell you how it's going to go, because Phillips has been absolutely quality this season. And, to be fair, Simmons, however you want to say it, he looked very good last game, to be fair. Now, maybe it won't be him in there. Maybe it'll be Morley, or the other guy's name that I can't say, Ethan. But the key thing is, that decides the game, okay? That battle and Kosciuszko's space on the wing will decide the game. I'll be honest, you're not going to have much of the ball. It is going to be on the counter again, but it worked last time, so why can't it work this time? Hopefully you enjoyed my little preview of the Barnsley game, and I will see you for the review on Sunday. See you very soon. Goodbye.
Oh, we've moved.
I think he thinks we're going to beat you with 10 men.
From your perspective, though, Andy, on that one, how accurate is the stat man in terms of his understanding of how you guys are likely to set up and your key men, danger men, and all that type of stuff?
No, it's not right at all. It all depends which player. No, he's Yakers like. He knows, he can only do his best, can't he? He knows what he knows. I can't. It all depends who's playing. I will say that depends on the on who's picked. If Cleary's playing on the left wing like he did last night, then Ogbetter's not going flying forward and leaving gaps at the back. He tends to stay behind Reyes. Rather than overlapping, he tends to give Reyes or plays Reyes through for him to run onto, or give Reyes the ball to have a go at the back. Phillips ain't playing straight behind the striker. He tends to play on the right-hand side, and up front we have David McGoldrick, and Davis Keeler-Dunn. They're the two main strikers, one behind the other, and they interchange. Although, in fairness to your stat man, Adam Phillips does move about a bit, so that they are a bit fluid between them all. But mainly, it's Davis and David that are playing up front. So it's not completely out of it, but
in terms of so you've mentioned your two forwards there in McGoldrick, who's as old as me, and Keeler Dunn. In my mind, they aren't very quick forwards, so I envision us playing quite a high line because they're not exactly going to run in behind them two, are they?
I think you should absolutely play an high line because they're as slow as they come. You'll make your defence look daft because they can move. If you think that McGoldrick's slow, ain't. I know he's knocking. Okay. I know he's your age. I know he's knocking on, Cole. In football terms, he's knocking on. But don't be fooled. This is a quality player. And he's shown his quality over the first couple of league matches. Don't think that he ain't got any speed at all. Because
just in my mind, I just presume that he's obviously not going to be the player he was.
Keep thinking it, Cole. Keep thinking it. Tell Toyle exactly the same. Toyle, tell him he needs to as high a line as he possibly can. He can let him run past him if he wants, because he'll catch him, won't he? He'll catch him. So I wouldn't hold out too much hope at that. What you will do is, I think it's unlikely that we'll keep pumping like we did last season in a lot of matches, pumping eyeballs into players that aren't tall, strong centre forwards that are going to head it on. I think you might find that we pass it a lot more. It's interesting what he said that Dewberry. We did our show. It's not out yet, but we did our show at 6:00, and we highlighted Dewberry as being a key player for yourselves, on the wing, and whether Albita would be able to, and the others are be able to keep hold of him, and also Simons as well that you've signed. There's other players like Sheehan that we know is a good player, but Simons were identified as a key player, and Erahan, who I think you were a Barnsley youngster at one time but then obviously going from Lincoln. He's a quality. I don't know how much you've seen of him so far, to be frank, but he's been a quality player for Lincoln for years.
Oh yeah.
So that's a really good. I personally think it's a really good signing for you. I don't know if is Dempsey injured again? Because
well,
Funny you should say that.
Funny you should say that. Before we do move
on,
on,
I rate him.
Yeah.
We all do.
There's a couple of segments coming up in a second, Andy, that you can talk a little bit about Carl Dempsey if you wish. Matt Cole, though, I want to ask Chris to bring his comment. I want to get your thoughts on this comment. Please.
Is that one?
That's the one.
I think Matt could well be right. In the first two we have played Josh at left back, and he can play there. He's a strong lad. He can play there. Well, he has done, and he looks all right. So whether it's him or Ogbetter, I don't know. I don't know. It may be. It all depends on how he sets up. We've got to have somebody to play centre half with Jack Shepherd, with Robbo being injured. So does he play Earl there? So it's two left footers. Don't know. Does he play De Givany there, who started at right back as well? But now we've got Watson at right back, who's only played the one game. Who knows? It's
I have to admit, I do like Earl as a left-sided centre half, but not as a left back. I think Cozy Dewberry had run him ragged. To be honest, I think that probably wouldn't be advisable. To be fair,
we just mention that for the audio listeners, the question was Matt Cole, who is a Barnsley fan, against good teams like Bolton, will be more likely to play Josh Earl at left back, who's stronger defensively. That's what we were just talking about there.
I think Matt's probably right. In honesty, I think he's probably right.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So probably time to get a bit of an update on the injury side of things, which will allow Chris to talk about Andy's best mate, Carl Dempsey. And for those who are listening back on audio and watching live, that is a graphic of Chris mending Ben's leg. Nothing else. Over to you.
I feel like a glass of Kiora now, Chris.
Told you, it's stuck in your head, that. I think it's only fair that we start with Andy's mate, Carl Dempsey. He's still, unfortunately, out long term. I believe that he's due back on the grass at the end of September, due for a return in October. But yeah, he's a player that I don't think I've ever seen any Bolton fan disrespect or really underestimate his ability as a footballer. He's just really been unfortunate with injuries, and obviously our best wishes go out to Mr. Dempsey for a swift return. We've got a couple of new signings who we've not seen yet competitively in Richard Taylor and Sam Dolby. Both will remain on the sidelines. I think they will be due back in a couple of weeks. Obviously, they need to be integrated and brought up to speed. As new signings getting injured, it's really unfortunate. And obviously, we have Will Forrester still out injured. But nothing new to report other than a slight tightness of the groin for Mario Cozy-Dewberry. But lad can play on one leg. He's ridiculous. So
he did last night, though, didn't he? I think the little groin injury was, injury or strain was before last night's game, and then he came on and scored from 25 yards. So
unbelievable.
Oh, good.
oh, hang on. We've got a live update, courtesy of superstar viewer David and channel member. Dolby could be on the bench, Shuey says. So that could be interesting as an option.
You've got Big Vic out as well, haven't you?
Don't
forget Big. We love Big Vic.
You can have him if you want.
Who can forget Victor?
Actually, we could do him back. Actually,
you're quite right though, Andy. Vic is still out. It's going to be towards the tail end of the year before he's back, possibly January. So, yeah, obviously recovering from an operation. So we wish him well and a swift return. Also, over to you.
He's got a lot of work to do to get it back into the setup, though, hasn't he? Let's be fair. When he comes back from injury, big job on his hands, especially because we're anticipating for us to strengthen in that number 9 position by the end of the window. So there could be 4 centre forwards vying for one spot, which he would be, of course, bottom of that pile. Yeah. So big job on. Job on.
I'd just like to draw your attention to my fans. Obviously, I've got a massive following, and Mr. Figgins has said that I give him a slight tightness in the groin also. Thank you for that.
Tiredness. Figgins, you need to spell.
Yeah, I'll correct him later. So, Andy, the floor is yours for your injury update, mate.
Well, we've got a few, like I've said. It's a shame that for a couple of months we've and again I think it's a growing injury. Mark Roberts, who's come back to the club, 34. So these things happen. He's got a tight groin. He's going to be out for a couple of months as centre half, and he's formed a really good partnership with Jack Shepherd. So 2 big strong lads. So that's a real shame for us. And it's prompted a lot of Barnsley fans saying we really could do with another centre half to replace Robbo, because it's so long. Of course, we've also got one of our young Portuguese under-21 stars, Fabio Jallo, is out injured, and he's hopefully, and that's a real shame because he's another that goes at players. He can play up front, but he's left-footed, but I personally prefer to see him play on the right-hand side.
Is that who we were talking about last season, Col, who ran us daft?
Yeah, I said we're good before he even kicked the ball, and then we played him and he battered us.
Yeah.
He's an excellent player. But
he were coming up against Gethin Jones, weren't he? So, I mean, Get's a lovely lad, but he now plays in League 2. So
he's one of our old players and all, Gethin.
Yeah.
And, what's the word I'm looking for? You are welcome to him. Let's put it that way. But yeah. We're all right. Yeah, so he's out, and we think he might well be back in September. But he gave us something different last season because he was fast, take players on, that exuberance of youth, if you like, will get out wide and drive defenders at fright. Yeah, no fear at all. We've now got Reyes Cleary on one side and Caelan Vickers on the right-hand side, who's just the same, gets the ball, looks up and drives at players and causes panic, I think, for fullbacks, and it ought to do. So, there's going to be times when any of those gets injured or, drop a form or what have you. So it'd be good, really, really good to welcome Fabio back. But he doesn't have to rush back. Get him right this time. He's had a couple of different injuries. And it's such a shame for the lad. The shoulder injury that had to be put right. And now he got some, with his knee. So, good luck to him. But he's not being missed at the minute because we've got 2 that have a similar sort of player. Which is good for us. Last season, he was sorely missed because we didn't have anybody that drove. But he can, gradually can come back. And at left back, which is a real shame, a really serious heel injury for Georgie Gent, who a young lad who we got, I think from Wigan. A good strong lad that drove forward, got stuck into a tackle. He did his heel, and again, he's likely to be out for another. He's had an operation. It's still a number of months, and that's a shame for him as well as us, because competition for places, So, and that's I think that's more or less it because every other player we've moved on.
All 21.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
First shift that in it to get rid of all them players, especially considering you start the season so well. It's pretty impressive stuff. New segment for you, Andy. I think you might quite like this one because I know you're a big fan of some of the players that we've got. This next segment, it's a short one, it's a sweet one. It's called Player Swap.
Just let me get it.
Let you get your what, Andy?
Is that Kiora? I want Kiora.
So, in a bit of fun, have a little think. players that we would like to swap for ours, or you would like to swap for yours. I would have probably gone with Luke O'Connell probably before the start of the season.
You had to let that go, Cole.
I need to let it go. But
to let it all go.
It's a tricky one because we've strengthened our midfield rather significantly. So I'm not even sure we get a game, to be honest with you, Andy. But it'll be interesting to get not only your thoughts, but like Matt's just done.
You've got no else to do than watch us three talk rubbish.
Other Barnsley fans in the chat as well. And Wanderers fans in the chat as well. Get your opinions in this as well. It's an interesting one. So go on then. I'll give you the floor, Andy. Who would you swap?
Well, we've said, on Red All Over, we said a couple of times that we also wanted a right back, but we got a right back now in Watson, who I think's is going to be pretty competent there. For us, and for me, I start talking about for me, but I'm not on my own with this. A centre back and another striker. They're the two positions for me. So for me, a centre back like Toll, he'd do for me. He'd make a huge. With Shepherd at left hand foot, he would make a huge difference to us if we borrowed Toll. That would, or had Toll, that would be great. And as Matt's just said, as a striker, I would love to see McAtee back. He blew hot and cold. Sometimes it didn't really do much. Sometimes John McAtee was excellent. He scored some excellent goals and some excellent things. But unlike, we can take him. But you're not having Davis Keeler done him. So, we want him as well as Davis Keeler done. But, those two, Toll and McAtee would be nice for us. That'd round up what I think we need.
Interesting.
Phillips would be a good one for us as well, though, wouldn't it, I think? Although saying that, I've seen
Sheehan and all, but like you, we strengthen midfield. But I've always liked Sheehan. And Dempsey when he's not injured. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, you can go for that then, can't you?
Phillips, you do well to get Phillips. He's a good player.
So I reckon that just about ends tonight's episode. Of course, massive thank you to Andy for joining us. Thank you very much to the 108 people who have watched the episode or listened to the episode during the course of the last 42 minutes. Massive thank you to each and every one of you in the chat. It's been really, really good to have you on board tonight. And also, I just want to kind of take a little bit of time out, a quick second before we wrap up, to thank you all, of course, as we end today's show. And we're going to dedicate this show in loving memory of Barnsley superfan and, of course, Andy's good friend, Alan Smith, whose presence touched us all and will never be forgotten.
I can honestly say, Colin, if you don't mind me saying, I can honestly say that Smithy loved the pair of you. One of the things that he enjoyed more than anything else was to come on this show with you two and meeting your two. And I was going to put the photo, meeting your two at all. Well, he absolutely loved it. I spent so long with him, so many, every day at different hospitals and the hospice at the end. He talked about you and your show, but you two in particular, with such love. I can only say that. He was so touched by everything that, all the support you gave him, and now he's with Kate. So I can't give you enough thanks for what you've done. You made things so much better for him over the last, the last number of weeks of his life. So thank you. Just thank you.
No, thank you, mate. Thanks for introducing us to him.
And I missed him.
I bet you do.
And thank you very much for taking your time out, Andy, to come on here. Obviously, I know it's not really that easy, and we really appreciate your time. And thank you very much.
He told me. I know you're trying to finish.
Oh no, here we go. Go on.
There were times I spent hours with him every day, including right at the end, when he kept saying to me, "You've got to go on their show. Tell them you're going on their show when it comes on." So I had to come on. Tell them, because I'm not going to make it. Tell them that you've got to come on their show. And it was still when Chris got in touch with me. You invited me and said that you were going to dedicate last week to him. It was couldn't miss it. No matter what, I wouldn't miss it. It was very, very touching. So thank you.
Thanks, mate.
And on that lovely note, we'll end tonight's episode. Thank you very much for joining us.